How are you guys doing? Hey, I just got back from vacation, and I took a long trip in the car with Blake, my dog, and when we take a trip like that, I always bring something along in my car. I always bring, just in case somebody gets hurt, I always bring a first aid kit. Have you guys seen first aid kits?
Yes.
Yeah, some people have first aid kits. What do you think is in a first aid kit? Band-aids and medicine and yeah, you know what? So in my first aid kit, there's not a lot of fancy stuff, right? So I have Band-aids, right? I have Band-aids, I have bandage, some other things for bandage. I have ibuprofen in case, I get a headache or something like that. I have Neosporin. Anybody use Neosporin? Use some of that in case you get a little cut. So there's not really fancy stuff. You do, yeah, lots of people have this, so I want to make sure I got those things in there. But those are common things, those are regular things. Everybody has those things, right? They're kind of normal stuff. What else?
What about a second aid kit?
I don't have a second aid kit. I only have a first aid kit. Because if I need second aid, I gotta call somebody. So if you were, I got a question though, if you were in 2,000 years ago, when Jesus was first telling this story, what do you think would have been in your first aid kit? What would have been in your first aid kit? Don't know? What do you think? Cotton? That's something. Well, they probably had some kind of bandage. People would carry some kind of cloth or something to wrap up in case that was. And you know what else? You know what they used? Did they have Neosporin? They have different things that they did. But they didn't have stuff like this, so you know what they used? They used stuff like oil and wine. That's what they would pour on the wound before they bandaged it. That's why Jesus said, no. That's why what they would have done though then is they would put oil and they would put wine there to clean the wound. And that's what Jesus said the guy did, the Samaritan did, to help the person who was by the side of the road. So you guys had a lot of experience at first. I knew you guys would understand this. But you know what happens when you do something like that? When the first thing that your parents do or somebody else does to help you, they use really basic stuff. Just like that Samaritan did. When he found somebody on the side of the road, he took wine and oil and regular bandages, and he helped the person out. And one of the things that Jesus was telling us in that story was that when we're going to be neighbors to other people and help people out, we don't need fancy stuff, and we don't need to be doctors or anything. We just need to take what we have and use that. And when we do that, we can be a neighbor to other people, and we can help them out, and we can share God's love. That's one of the things we're supposed to remember from that story. Your daddy needed first aid too, huh? Yeah. We've heard his stories also. All right, let's say a prayer. Can we hold hands? We're going to say a prayer. You ready? Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for blessing us. In many ways. Help us to take what you give us. And share it with others. So that they can know your love.